Hi there, welcome to Sports Center from the nation's capital. I'm Scott Van Pelt. NBA's postseason nearly set. The Sixers advance to take on Boston, while Steph and the Warriors refuse to go quietly in the night as Kawhi goes silent in the fourth. Huge comeback there in L.A. Speaking of L.A., Joe Buck joins us from Dodger Stadium on Jackie Robinson Day with Shohei Ohtani on the mound. And Mel Kiper Jr. stops by to give you the player he's willing to stand by no matter what else happens in the NFL draft. Dodgers with the best record in baseball, looking for a sweep over the Mets. It's Jackie Robinson Day. Shohei on the mound. First time not hitting in a game that he started at pitcher since May of 21, and he starts off dealing. These Mets bats have been a bit quiet. On this night, it's Ohtani with the full arsenal on display. Dodgers get out to a lead of 2-0. Top five, MJ Melendez just called up. And a couple on, and this is trouble. Tucker can't get it. Actually a bit unlucky for the Mets as it's a ground rule double. Only one run comes in. 32 2/3 innings without allowing an earned run snap, the longest of his career. But Ohtani settles back in and gives Luis Robert Jr. the gas face. Then the Bugs Bunny curve to Beatty, Bo Bichette. That's filth on display. 10 Ks through 6, just one earned. Bottom 6, Teoscar Hernandez leading off the inning. And there's some loud lumber in this Dodger lineup, and it got louder as the game progressed. That makes it 3-1. And then how about Dalton rushing? 4 homers, I believe Joe Buck said, in his last 13 at-bats, including this. Swinging a drive, and it's a grand slam as the Dodgers blow it open in the bottom of the 8th. And they cruise to yet another victory. It feels like all of baseball's 9-8, 9-9. Not the Dodgers. They're 14-4. We welcome in our man, Joe Buck. It's like Monday night on a Wednesday night, and it's a different sport. And I would say it's like riding a bike, yes, but that would be awfully disrespectful to the skill set on display. But when you sit down in a familiar setting, Joe, and you slide on the headphones, how quickly does it all come back? The joy of calling baseball.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. Obviously on a night when we honor one of the greatest people to ever walk the planet, and everybody's wearing number 42. That was another layer of, hoping that I would get the right identification going. But it was fun. These guys to my right who have left, Ron Darling and Oral Hershiser were fantastic. I knew they would be. They asked me, who do you want to work with? Those were the 2 guys I picked for this very reason, and I just kind of leaned on them, and we had fun. But it was good to be back in a baseball booth, and I'm glad I did it.
It's obvious who the guy wearing 42 on the mound is, and Shohei Ohtani, a guy you called an all-star game when he was with Anaheim. Joe, I believe Stanford Steve was giving me the rundown on that. But to get the full Shohei experience with this Dodger team that is an absolute wagon, Joe, what do you do? How would you describe all that?
It's unlike anything I've seen, and I've covered this game a long time. I don't know who you would compare this team to right now. They're so far and away the best team in the game. They do everything right. Their manager is outstanding and extremely underrated. He does a terrific job getting this team ready to play. I mean, Ohtani is just lights out on the mound. The guy's a 4-time MVP for what he does with his bat. Nobody's ever done that in the history of this game. They can beat you a lot of different ways. They're good in their bullpen. They play good defense. It just goes on and on and on. It's just a question of who can hang with them, and then when the postseason starts, because the Dodgers will be in the postseason, can anybody beat them in a series? And right now, the way they're playing, the answer would probably be no.
You've been fairly insistent, Joe, that this chapter of your professional life's mostly in the rearview mirror. But I wonder, as you sit there and you reacquaint yourself with this, you sure? I think I'm just rooting to hear you call more baseball, I guess is what I'm saying.
I honestly, I appreciate the question. I just don't think anybody really cares. I think when people watch these games, it's about the game. I don't think it's about the announcer. I mean, that was my dad's old joke. You know, he used to say, one day I'm gonna die in the booth, and two guys are gonna be walking in downtown St. Louis, and one guy's gonna turn to the other guy and go, "Hey, did you hear Jack Buck died in the booth last night?" And the other guy will go, "Huh, that's too bad. Cardinals win." I mean, that's what it's about. It's about the game, and it's about the players, and it's about the score. So I had an unbelievable fun run with Tim McCarver and John Smoltz and Harold Reynolds and Verducci, and I mean, I had a blast. But doing these one-offs is fun. Yeah, it's a challenge to get back in it. But I don't know. I think that that ship has sailed.
Listen, I get it, and you're right. I just think you're good at it, and it was fun to listen tonight, Joe. And on a night that the game honors Jackie, it was cool to have you there with Ron and Oral. Fantastic job. Good to visit. I hope I talk to you soon.
Yeah, buddy. Good to hear your voice in my headset. And, miss you. And it'll be here before we know it. We'll be doing Monday Night Football
there we go.
Here on ESPN.
Can't wait to find out the schedule. We'll be with you soon. I look forward to that, Joe. Thank you.
Okay, buddy.
Yankees 3, New York coming to the plate in the bottom of the ninth. Let's start with you here. You have Judge, you have Trout, and there's one guy who seemingly can overshadow all of them, and that's Shohei Ohtani. Is it, as we try to put Jackie Robinson in perspective, is there a way to put Ohtani into perspective?
Well, the only way I describe Ohtani in an adjective is to use his own name, and that's Ohtanic, because everything he does is singular. And the fact that he has a goal this year of being a Cy Young to add to the collection of already tremendous amount of hardware, we've seen him do it in the postseason. We've seen him do it in the regular season. Just incredible singular talent. So we're just enjoying the watch.
How'd we get to a place where tonight, after getting hit the other night in his scapula, he's only going to pitch and not hit?
Yeah, and it's a day off, right? He's on the mound, and look, this guy he's changed, he's morphed. Every year you see something different, and this year we have seen something different from him as well. It's not like he's throwing the fastball or the sweeper more. He's actually throwing the curveball and the split finger at a higher rate and with more contact, but he's inducing soft contact. He knows how to pitch, and tonight the Dodger fans might just be bored enough to watch him just pitch and not hit.
When he joined the Dodgers a couple years ago, one of their coaches said every movement he makes is surgical. Every throw, every swing, every step he takes is designed to make him the most remarkable player we've ever seen. And even though he's not hitting tonight, he has to be must-see television.
But the Ohtani rule was put in for scenarios like this. And since 2021, he has not actually been in a situation where the Ohtani rule can be put in place. So tonight might be a first.
You brought it up. You want to try to explain the Ohtani rule?
Well, the Ohtani rule is if he's pitching, he can actually come in and hit and pinch hit for the DH, but he has to stay in the game. If he does it that way, he has to field. If not, then he comes out, or you lose the DH.
And you can put him in the field, and he can play the rest of the game if you want.
And blame Joe Madden for that one.
Right.
And as Dave Roberts apparently told the crew calling the game tonight, all of that's true. None of that's going to happen. When he's coming out, he's coming out. Interesting note, too, that the first guy that Ohtani ever faced is actually wearing the uniform of the New York Mets. That was Marcus Semien, who told us earlier, God, would I love to hit a home run against that guy tonight. And the first time they faced each other, Semien remembers, that didn't go very well for me. We'll see what happens tonight during the coverage of our game. As we continue, we started the show with a Doug Glanville essay. Did you know that Doug is also a poet? Here are some reflections on Jackie Robinson.
42 taught us what we can reach for when the stakes are highest, and he inspired the will to steal home for equality if necessary. He was evidence that courage overshadows color, that standing tall also means refusing to sit in false harmony with inequality. Today, we remember what it means to finish first. Because to reach that pinnacle, someone first had to be first.
How impressive is it to you?
I mean, you can't really fathom kind of what he went through, and then to still perform at the level that he did. I mean, there's no way to really try and compare. But I feel like we do have an opportunity to kind of be like Jackie. And, the social media, there's so much hate that goes on, with people and talking stuff and, with the betting and all these type of things. And so I feel like we can still love the game and still go play the game and kind of push away those negative things, and I feel like so that's maybe our way to compare. Obviously it's completely different, right? But something similar.
Okay, how old were you when you first learned of who Jackie Robinson is?
Oh man, I would say probably getting into my teenage years. I don't even remember when, honestly. But you hear the name Jackie, kind of, but you don't really know who it is and know his significance. I really didn't learn his full significance until I really became a Dodger. Even, you hear, play on Jackie Robinson Day, but when you're on the other side of the country, Jackie Robinson may not have the same meaning as he does if you're a Dodger. And so when I became a Dodger, I really got to know who he was, get to know his family, and beyond baseball.
Mookie, do you think about how you want to take those lessons and pass it on, in your family as a parent? I mean, what are you sharing about Jackie's story?
I don't know yet, man. It's so hard because the lessons are different, right? They're different, and today's day and age is just different. And obviously, discrimination and stuff is still there, and all those things still happen. But it's just different, And I'm really trying to navigate it myself, And that's what makes it kind of hard. I think once I get a better grasp of how I can handle it in a better, more straightforward way, I can probably help my kids a little more.
And with his greatness on the field and what you've learned as a Dodger, seeing the highlights of him and listening to the stories, what part of your game do you see was part of Jackie's game? Was it the base running?
No, definitely not the base running. He's much faster than me. I would say probably closer to defensively. I don't know what kind of, I don't pay attention to his numbers and hitting and whatnot, but I know what kind of defender he was, how he was hard-nosed, how was he a grinder, he worked hard. And I think I'm that, I just kind of work hard and do everything I can to be successful on the defensive side of the ball.
I think the thing that strikes me about you and him is this idea of multi-sport athletes. I mean, your transition from outfield to shortstop, track and field, football, baseball, did it all at a level that nobody else was doing to that. And it kind of reminds me of your athletic ability. That's where I see the connection.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I grew up playing a lot of sports, and I think I don't know what it is. And my brain just, if it's a ball, I feel like I'm going to be pretty good at it. So I don't know what it is.
Well, you are pretty good. Any indication as to when we can see you back on the field? I know you're banged up here.
I don't know, man. I'm now starting to do ball tosses. I'm starting to be symptom free of those things. I'm really trying to take it kind of slow, just because I don't want to aggravate this, because then it turns into a 3-month thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And I really can just sit down, and I don't have to worry about the boys are playing just fine. They're winning games, and so maybe I just need to sit out and let them play.
All right. Hey, what a way to start the show. Jackie was a legend. He was a leader, a motivator. You're that way for your generation.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
That's Mookie Betts. As we are beginning our program here, baseball tonight, with one of the current game's greats. And you see 42 in every baseball stadium. It is all over the ballpark tonight, and it will be a theme of our broadcast tonight. And with that, I send it up to my buddy Joe Buck, along with Oral and with Ron Darling.
Ravi, it's a pleasure to get that throw from you. Welcome to the booth. Welcome to the baseball broadcast booth. It's named after Vin Scully here at Dodger Stadium. I am Joe Buck. I'm sitting with these two guys who obviously were titans on the mound when they were out there doing their thing, and now they're at the very best in the top of the heap when it comes to broadcasters. I've got Ron Darling right here. I've got Oral Hershiser down there. We had to clear you with 6 different networks to get the okay to use you. Oral, it was easy with you.
This is my home booth. This is kind of nice.
It is nice, and when you get a chance to watch the guy that we're going to watch tonight in Shohei Ohtani, it's going to be a treat for me just to sit up here, and for anybody at home watching, to watch this man do what he's able to do on the mound. We're not going to see him at the plate, which you're going to talk about. But what are we going to? What should we expect with him on the mound tonight?
Well, it's a one-of-a-kind night because of Jackie Robinson night, and you got Shohei Ohtani on the mound only. So there have been 7 games that he has not been in the lineup for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are 5-2. But when you talk about Shohei and what he brings to the Dodgers, he is the face of the Dodgers. He is the face of baseball. And what he'll do on the mound tonight will be so focused because he is thinking about being the first Japanese-born pitcher to win a Cy Young, and he is very focused on that. And Dave Roberts is protecting him a little bit tonight because he got hit the other day on the shoulder, and he thinks, let's do one thing. But you can see he's able to do both. With 48 straight games, he's been on base. That probably won't be extended tonight, but it won't stop. And then the consecutive scoreless inning streak without an earned run.
It doesn't say much about you and I that a day off for Ohtani is starting a game.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Meanwhile, I know you are not at all impressed by the scoreless streak.
I would be
I mean,
over
if
here
anybody, Google it.
humbly in the corner.
Google it. 59 straight for that man on the far end. And you, buddy, what's going on with your Mets, man? Nobody is hitting on this team.
You know, they lost Juan Soto to that bad calf, and you can tell how important he is to this team. But President of Baseball Ops, David Stearns, he kind of redacted a lot of the roster. A lot of really important, likable, fan-friendly guys are no longer here. Why? Because he wanted to just try something new. And a lot of the new guys that he's gotten, who are all great players. Polanco's hurt with bursitis. He's gotten off to a slow start. Simeon had a rough year last year in Texas. He's gotten off to a slow start. Bichette's been pretty good, and Lindor last night with a home run in his first RBI. So maybe they're turning it around. Listen, all teams go through this stretch during the course of the year, but it's New York. You don't want to do it in April.
And to highlight where they've been, I mean, that was a team that was in the NLCS a couple of games away from going to the World Series, and now they have that bad second half last year. They're off to this start, so it compounds what happened in the back end of last year.
Think about it this way, okay? Every team in baseball wants to be the Dodgers. They want their organization to mirror what the Dodgers can do, especially Steve Cohen and the Mets. So since 2019, that was Pete's first year, kind of their core group. The Mets have played in 16 postseason games. The Dodgers have played in 75. They got a long way to go.
All right, well, we are going to have some fun here tonight. We will watch this matchup of the Dodgers and the Mets. Dodgers going for the sweep right now. We will send it back down to the studio. Carl, guys, back to you.
All right, Joe. Guys, thank you very much. 13-4 start for the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the best ever for a defending World Series champion. Joined now by the very well-dressed, Bob Kendrick, who is president of the Negro Leagues Museum. Fascinating. We had Mookie Betts here, and you get the sense that Mookie every day is still learning about Jackie Robinson. Do you, who know so much about him, find yourself still learning about him? And if so, what?
Well, and still learning every single day, not only about Jackie, but also the other unsung heroes of the Negro Leagues. And this has been a job that I've been involved with. I've been president of the museum since 2011, but my affiliation with the organization began, it's hard to believe, 33 years ago. And I'm still learning, because the history is so fascinating. And so every day I'm inspired and want to learn something new and get to impart that to others. So that's what's so exciting about the work that we do.
Impossible question, but is there something that stands out to you every day, that resonates to you every day, that you impart to somebody about Jackie?
Well, I think the thing that strikes me the most is just how courageous he was. Yeah. Because I'm not sure we're able to really comprehend just how courageous this man was. Yeah. Because what he did was so profound, and he could not fail. And that's what I remind folks. If he fails, there will be no second guy. But also if he fails, an entire race of people would have failed. That's an enormous amount of weight for any one man to have to carry in a game, as we always talk about, that is predicated on failure.
No question.
Yeah, and he can't fail.
What does it mean to you to play this game at Dodger Stadium and everyone's wearing number 42?
It never gets old. It was one of the greatest things that I think baseball has ever done when they retired the number, and then to start to play this game every year where the attention is squarely on Jackie Robinson. And I'm inspired every year. But being here at Dodger Stadium having both the Mets and Dodgers in this game, it just hits a little differently. And so it was very inspirational for me, very emotional, but also very deeply meaningful.
Yeah.
Bob, I'm wondering about the fact that as we get farther away from 1947 and his experience and what he's changed, how challenging it is to kind of continue to connect with the newer generations and modernizing that story for you.
Yeah, and that's the importance of having a Negro Leagues baseball museum, because you're right. The byproduct of progress is that we have a tendency to forget, because it doesn't impact us the way that it impacted those who were right there in the midst of it.
Right.
And so baseball has done a tremendous job of not allowing us to forget about Jackie Robinson and the courage that he demonstrated. But with each generation, we have to continue that effort. I have to remind myself not to take for granted that everybody knows Jackie's story, because you just want to assume that they do because there are books, there are films, we have this game. But everybody is not necessarily enlightened to this story, and we need to make sure that they are.
Yeah.
But we also want to be mindful of those who preceded Jackie, who, as my friend Buck O'Neill would say, they built the bridge across that chasm of prejudice that allowed Jackie, Larry Doby, and others to cross over that bridge. And that's what the Negro Leagues did.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to touch on. You mentioned the word courageous. How is that word that Jackie definitely had and used to move everyone forward? How did that transcend the next generation, and how were they courageous? The Kirk Floods.
And they all had to be courageous at water, all of them, because that's what we talk about. We have a wonderful exhibit called Barrier Breakers that chronicles all of those integration pioneers who broke their respective major league teams' color barriers. So we know Jackie's story, but the other guys, Larry Doby would go just weeks after Jackie. I can tell you now, it didn't get any easier for Larry Doby than it did for Jackie. It didn't get any easier for Elijah Pumpsie Green 12 years later when he joined the Boston Red Sox. So they all had their trials and tribulations as they were blazing their path to pursue this game, and it took great perseverance, great fortitude for all of them, but I guarantee you every one of them would have told you they were inspired by Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. And for sure, a guy like Henry Aaron. Hank Aaron was the same way, and he, of course, said about Jackie Robinson, Jackie's character was much more important than his batting average. Bob, thanks so much for being with us.
Man, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you all for having me.
We certainly appreciate Bob Kendrick joining us here, where you can see the blue skies behind us and that big scoreboard out there. We are in Dodger Stadium. We're celebrating Jackie Robinson Day, where tonight it'll be the Dodgers and the New York Mets. Of course, Jackie played his games in Brooklyn, New York, never played a game here in Los Angeles. A good look at all the things that Jackie did over his young life. April 15th, marking Jackie Robinson's historic MLB debut. Robinson's courage and determination in the face of adversity is as much an example now as ever before. Join baseball in commemorating Jackie Robinson Day and visit MLBtogether.com/42 to learn more. Stay with us. We'll be joined by Dave Roberts and continue from Dodger Stadium.